for people who hurt us.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Friday.
What's up?
Follow-up Friday. We got lots to cover today. We're going to do something fun first, but a lot of discussion on Follow-up Friday today on the air about the non-binary pronoun they being the word of the year for Merriam-Webster. But before that, we discovered
Ron!
earlier this week that this one, the lovely Janelle Nevels, here she is,
Hola!
has never had eggnog. Do I say it Minnesota? Nog. Eggnog.
That's right. Eggnog.
Like orange.
Orange. She's never had eggnog. So I had the brilliant idea of, Janelle, you should go buy us eggnog.
Exactly. Isn't he so smart?
Yeah,
How do you
great
come
idea.
up with that? Make somebody else spend money.
So I did. And she brought it in gratefully. And so we're all going to have this together. Ron, have you gotten yours yet? So, and we got the kind you said we're supposed to get, right?
Hartzlers.
Hartzlers from Worcester.
So,
Wayne County.
Yeah.
little eggnog. There you are, Ron. You want more?
Oh, that'll be fine for now.
And here, you put out your cup. Here we go.
Yeah.
We're pouring some for you. Hope that's good.
job.
Here's mine. I didn't wash this cup myself. I'm a
Get
little
more,
nervous.
get more.
A little eggnog for Christmas coming up here. And are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Swallow your food. You don't want to you want to cleanse your palate. You have water? You could cleanse your palate
Is
first?
that serious? No, I don't have no water.
Brush your teeth.
All right. So, Merry Christmas.
Oh my gosh. It's good. I could see myself drinking. Yes.
You like it?
Oh, it's good. Wow. See?
What you been doing your
That's
whole
what
life?
Mommy says. Always taste it one time.
It's been like 50, 60 years, and you haven't had a chance to eat
I don't
this
even
yet.
look. I look like 15. Please.
But you see what you've been missing?
This is good.
Now,
Oh,
if there was a raw egg in it, would you still eat it?
Yeah, it's good. I would just be like, no, you know what it is? We cook in DR. We cook tongue, cow's tongue. We cook duck. And when it's good, I'll tell my mother, whatever you cook, like, don't tell me what it is if it's something like that. So I would just tell somebody, don't tell me there's egg in there.
Mm-hmm.
But you
How do you
said
get away
there
with
is
this?
egg in there, isn't there?
No, there shouldn't be in this one. Should there?
I don't know.
I don't think you can sell raw egg to drink.
Probably not. Well, it would have to have been, pasteurized to be
I guess.
sold in Ohio.
Ron would have. If you gave him a raw egg, he'd just eat it.
I might. I don't
He's
do it
Mikey.
so much anymore.
He's Mikey from Life Cereal.
Yeah.
Life's
I like
good.
it. I like this. I bought one of those the other day. I was at the store, and since I was doing the shopping, I thought, I'm going in there, went to the dairy, grabbed it.
It is good.
I went out in the parking lot. I popped the top, and I was chugging some right there in the car.
Did you?
Yeah, it took 2 days. I finished a whole bottle.
I thought you'd go home and go, Dan, I don't know what happened. It was empty.
They sold me an empty bottle.
Would you make your own?
Oh, if it was really easy, but I'm a little lazy about doing all that.
What are you going to do with this, Janelle? Are you going to buy some
It's
now for your family?
amazing. Yeah, I'm getting some more. This is good. Good morning, Adrian, Callie, Mike, our people. Mike said I tried making my own eggnog a couple years ago, but it did not turn out great. I heard it's like you got to cook it slow.
There's some things I'm willing to just pay for. It's not
Yeah,
worth
really.
the effort.
This one's not spiced, Callie.
All right.
Is it?
Going back to work. See you guys.
Ron Eastwood, everybody. Gotta love Ron.
Gotta love eggnog.
It's good, Yvonne.
Myrna's all about the non-dairy is delicious. What's that about?
So the almond one. Do you do almond milk?
Why did you call it the right way? You usually say almond.
Because I'm trying to behave. Because then you make it for like 5 minutes about that. So what did we
Follow-up
talk
Friday.
about?
We can talk about whatever you want, people. Quick review of the topics, and then we can even review what we talked about on follow-up. But this week on the live show, we talked about the Merriam-Webster word of the year, which is they, the non-binary pronoun. We talked about Christmas myths with Dr. Van Lanningham. Things like I said on the air to him that Mary rode a donkey, and he's like, we don't know whether she rode a donkey. Or
That was
things,
a surprise to
What
you.
were you doing pregnant? She could have been walking 70 miles.
I don't know how she did that. She was empowered by Jesus.
You were going like, Len, give me something. I'm going to sit here. Tuesday, we talked about college students coming back for Christmas break and what to do with their doubts, their new identities. We talked with Pastor Chad Allen about how long sermons ought to be. Wednesday, we talked about 42% of kids are exposed to sexting by age 14. We reacted to that. Roy from Galvanize talked about Matterhorn syndrome. We talked about a church in Atlanta, and we did this on Overtime, about that was using basically donations, tithe money, to pay for layaway.
And I was right,
$10,000.
and you were wrong.
And my wife gave me a hard time about that afterwards. You should tell that they were there for that.
Yeah.
You should tell them that.
So right after the show, Sarah texted me and said, by the way, don't you feel sorry for me being married to Brian? I just watched the Overtime from today. He can't be argued with. That is coming from official source.
That's from my wife. So I heard that, and I swallowed my pride, and I came into work the next day, and what did I do?
You were like, oh, I'm sorry about that. I got a little overworked. No, over the top. And he said, that's what I do when I get tired. So he's tired all the time.
but I did get a little bit too heated in that. So you
It's
were part
cool
of that.
though. I mean, yeah.
I was just having, honestly, I know it sounds twisted, but I really have fun doing that. And when I get carried away, I sometimes go too far. So.
That's good. I gotta remember
I mean,
that.
you're
though.
still wrong, but I was just too emotional.
Oh.
And then yesterday we talked about, you took us through a study of Luke 18, which was really fun,
Oh yeah.
about trying to figure out for the rich young ruler, it was his money that kept him from Jesus. So what's keeping us from Jesus?
Callie was asking for this.
Dr. Oh, good point, Callie. Thanks. And Dr. Slattery talked about tension at Christmas, and then yesterday we were talking about single parents and how the U.S. has the highest rate of single parent households in the world. So we can cover anything you want to revisit. Boy, no, it's really Christmassy here. Eggnog. You like it?
I do. The eggnog is amazing. Myrna says she likes the non-dairy because it's too thick.
Boy, Myrna's a diva.
Mm-hmm.
You are a diva, Myrna. You got to have a particular kind of eggnog.
Look who's here. You better behave.
Oh.
Say something.
She must have heard that. Look at, she's commenting. I listened to my wife yesterday. You know what? Husbands, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for it. So I gave up my passion for my wife.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Myrna says, you are a saint. Look, replying to Sarah, you are a saint.
Yeah, because Myrna was there when I was getting carried away this week, too. I got carried away.
What is up? Like,
Thankfully, the Lord gave me Sarah to keep me in check.
so what does she do?
And sometimes Janelle keeps me in check.
Does she just ignore you?
No.
How did you survive?
She just straight up tells me what's going on. She's like, wow, you got carried away. You're like, whoops.
Look,
Sorry.
Callie,
What?
can you explain that?
Can I get a reminder that you guys went live last night? Yeah. Did anyone else get that? I got a notification last night that we went live. And then it played a live thing. It was you. I was like, what is she doing at the radio
Man.
station at 9 p.m.?
Nuh-uh.
You can hardly get her to stay here at 9 a.m.
It said Janelle.
No, it was you. But
Me
it was
what?
from months ago.
Oh.
I don't know what's going on, Callie. I got that same notification, but we sure weren't live. I'll tell you that. But, by the way, my wife, she is a saint, and she loves me.
Okay, no.
She loves me.
You wanted to say something about that comment at the end. There's still texts coming in from men saying, I'm a man and I appreciate the topic.
Yeah, can we go back to that original? Who was that person who said just a comment? We'll try to find it, but somebody was unhappy with topic selection and did what Hans and Franz did back in the 90s on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, you didn't watch that, did you?
I didn't watch
They called
Saturday
you a
Night Live.
girly man. Yo, you're a girly man. They would say that because they weren't
Here it
man
is.
enough. So, why don't you sound better than me.
So it says, suggestion. It would be awesome if you guys had the kind of topics that make real guys want to call in. Typically, it's touchy-feely stuff that women and soft, emasculated men can relate to. Jesus was a man's man and is coming back as a warrior, among other things. It would just be nice to have a show that had a masculine flair to it every now and then, as opposed to always being something that you know somebody's going to end up crying about.
And I had Ron go first.
Yeah, you did.
And he and I basically were, I don't know what the right word would be, but I think the tone was one of rebuke.
Mm-hmm.
Is that too harsh of an assessment of our
No.
own words?
Mm-mm.
Because I think that's a gross misrepresentation of manhood. And it's not a biblical representation of manhood. But then somebody else, we had a number of people text in saying they agree with us, but somebody was rebuking us then about our rebuke.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get some feedback on that. Can you find that one too?
Nah.
She's doing all the work. I'm gonna have some eggnog.
I know, right? By the way,
Wow.
what are you doing?
Just relaxing while you do some work.
It was like,
It was recent. You're going way down there.
no, it was still 9 something, no?
I
Because
don't
we
know.
got the link from Julie.
It's at the very end.
So over here?
It was past. It was after that one.
After what?
The one that you just clicked on.
Oh. Can you help me here? Oh, keep
I
talking.
don't have the mouse.
Oh my gosh. Here.
So you talk then. Wow, you guys best overtime.
Yeah,
we've ever
so
done.
basically we're finding a topic, now we can't see him. It's finding a text of somebody that just said, that we were being hard on the man that texted and that didn't feel comfortable with the topics that we're picking. We're looking for them now. So in the meantime, give us your reaction. Do you agree?
Here it was.
Okay.
He said, "I wish that manly man that texted would have been gay, because then you would have shown him some grace of Christ. Instead, you all ganged up on him, even bringing in Ron, to use a manly term. You ripped him a new one." By the way, this is a man who's listened to WCRF for a long time. So essentially, he was saying that our rebuke of the guy was inappropriate. Hey, what's going on?
Are you guys okay if I restart that console?
Yes, you go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
We're just doing a Facebook thing. It's no problem.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, no problem. We're still working around here. So, do you think this person has a point that we
You gotta
ganged
go
up
back
on the
to
guy?
Facebook, Brian.
Did the guy? I don't know what I'm doing. Did we gang up on that guy?
Can you tell it's Friday? We're like all over the place. Myrna said, wow. Mike said, okay, so what subjects would fit into that mark? Tisha agrees with Callie. I enjoy every topic y'all do and makes us think, no matter if it's too soft or whatnot.
I actually don't think about, to be totally honest, I don't even remember the last time you and I said, well, we've talked about a lot of feminine topics, let's talk about a masculine topic, or vice versa. I think we try to talk about issues that would impact you regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, and you're just a person of faith.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we go into specialized areas, like we've talked about manhood before, we've talked about
Parenting,
moms,
moms, yeah.
but we bounce around.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like when someone tries to imply that anything that creates emotion is girly, that's inaccurate.
What, can you unpack that a little bit as a man?
Well, I mean, the easiest way to unpack that is the guy was saying it's not manly because someone ends up crying at the end. So then Jesus wasn't manly.
Oh,
Because the shortest verse in the Bible everyone's memorized is Jesus wept.
Jesus wept.
Or he was the perfect example of a man, which is the actual reality of it.
Teresa says, yeah, what do you talk about that doesn't involve some sort of emotion?
Yeah, that's man hour. No emotions, just punching.
But what about your reaction to what the person says? We were a little harsh on him.
I was never in awe.
I'm satisfied in his unfailing love.
I know that God has a plan for my life.
Crazy day today. Here's what I would say. The book of Galatians, Paul gives a response, and I'm gonna see if I can find it quickly without making you sit there any longer. But essentially, what was happening in Galatia is that people were trying to tell everybody that you got to be circumcised to be saved.
And Paul was angry and
He
that
was mad.
Goodness.
In fact, he essentially said, I wish you'd go all the way and just cut the whole thing off rather than teach this. So does that sound like a harsh rebuke?
It does sound harsh, but the
Go and mutilate yourself is what some, I wish you'd go mutilate yourself is what some translations imply. And so when it has to do with someone distorting the truth, I think there can be a time among Christians where we are a little harsh. But let me say this. If we sounded like we were ganging up on him
that's not
and we're
good.
being unkind and
Yeah.
unloving, it's not good. And if that person is listening and feels that way, I'm sorry, and I hope that you will forgive me, because that's not what I was trying to imply. I don't want to hurt you. But I just don't like the implication that any men that express emotion are not masculine, because it's a lie. It's a lie, and it's wrong. And anyway, that's my thought on that, Janelle.
Teresa says, I think that if I comment to you, I'm inviting a response, and it might be a dissent, not an agreement. So I think she's saying if that man texted in, then he should welcome a response. And I think with the topic we were covering today, it was difficult to take because we know it's a topic that is impacting dads all over the world, including Christian dads.
Mm-hmm.
And so this topic in particular was just hard to hear that from. So maybe it's why we initially gave the response that we got, because we know that usually women call more than men. And so there are men listening today, listening to this topic. So to call it any less masculine about topics that are like very close to people's experiences, very painful, maybe that's why we initially reacted that way.
Maybe. Yeah, I felt defensive of the moms who were calling in about their children.
Oh, yeah.
It's part of it. And in so doing, those mothers were speaking for their family.
Yeah.
In that their husbands probably are grappling with the very same thing. I would imagine that's the case. I mean,
Yeah.
when Sarah and I deal with struggles with our kids, let's say she was the one who encountered the situation, I'll still feel it.
You
'Cause we're
express
one.
it differently.
We're
Yeah.
together. I might express it differently,
Yeah.
but we'll carry the weight together as parents.
Yeah.
So to imply that talking about children battling transgenderism and homosexuality and imply that it's not manly to discuss it, I mean, to put it gently, is inaccurate.
Oh, that was a nice way to say it.
To be like much more emotional about it would say, I'd say it's outrageous to make that implication.
Callie says, off topic, which days next week are you guys not working? Trying to plan a visit with my kids. The show continues.
Yeah, we have prepared something very special for you every day. There is stuff you've never heard before every day next week.
It's good.
Is that a political answer?
No, it was accurate.
But I can assure you that Moody Radio has given us ample time to celebrate Jesus' birthday and be with our families without having to get up at whatever and super early in the morning to be here.
He gets up madly. Like,
But we will be pausing overtime until January 2nd.
yeah.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Kelly, because we're not going to be doing overtime after today until January 2nd.
So before we go, can you guys share, like, what plans do you guys have this weekend? Any cool things you're doing for Christmas Eve? My mom gets here tomorrow,
Really?
so I get good food.
You excited?
The best thing as a mom is feeling like a daughter. Like
you
to
like
just,
that?
yeah. Or to just, the kids laugh when they do that. Oh, because my mom plays around with it a little bit. And if they want, like my 6-year-old, if she wants something or I'm being difficult with her, my mom will act like I'm getting in trouble. And so Nia sometimes will be like, Abuela, look at your daughter. Look what she's doing.
Well, and I hope I get a chance to see your mother because
I
remember this time.
I know. How can I tell where you're going?
I remember this time. Let's feel sorry for Sarah. When your lovely mother came to my home and
Oh, yeah,
she
she sure
prepared for me pastelitos.
It's good.
Describe what they are. Go ahead.
Pastelitos are like little wraps with flour wraps with meat inside. Some have cheese. In fact, she made some for you with cheese. Some people put beef, or you can have chicken
So who did she make them for?
for you.
And when Janelle was leaving, she packed up a whole bunch of these pastelitos for me and walked out the door with them.
Oh, Rob
And
wants
left me
some.
with just a couple. Just a couple.
God, he don't need all that. What
I
do you
want
need
your
all that
mother
for?
to hear this so she can make poor Brian
Aw.
without any pastelitos. Maybe I'll get the whole supply. I'm not bitter though.
You should get some plátanos. Taisha says she's having a game and movie night. Oh,
Really
that's
fun.
fun.
And if you back up, we've got Callie is going to celebrate celebrate Christmas tomorrow with her dad's
Tomorrow.
side in Bay Village.
Oh, that's
tomorrow.
cool.
Oh.
Have fun, Callie.
Teresa, you're
And
just gonna skip right past
where am I
Teresa.
going?
She's right after Callie.
yeah, Her daughter, Teresa's daughter, and her husband are coming from New York City. That's cool.
For
Do
the
you
week.
visit? Do you visit her often?
I'm trying to convince one of my kids to, when they get older, somebody's got to get a nice apartment in Manhattan
That's
with an extra bedroom.
right.
So their mother and I can go and say hi to them, but
Awesome.
stay in Manhattan for nothing.
Exactly. Jennifer says, I'm going Christmas shopping, celebrating my daughter's birthday late by taking the girls to get manicures. Oh, that's so fun. And our oldest has gymnastics Saturday and Sunday. Mike says, I'll be by myself on Christmas, but I'll watch It's a Wonderful Life and Holiday Inn, but not Elf. Yeah. That's my
Well, I'm
dude
sorry
right
your
there.
day will be so boring, Mike.
That's my dude.
I have
Denise
on,
has a question, but go ahead.
well, we'll get to that in a second. On Monday, because I'm talking about me.
I'm more important.
On Monday, my brother-in-law, Sarah's brother, and his wife and their 2 kids, we haven't seen them in over a year. And then my in-laws are coming, and they're going to stay with us for the week, and we just can't wait.
That is fun.
My niece and I haven't seen my niece and nephew in, I don't know, in over a year. It's really hard.
Aw.
And then my parents are going to be coming for New Year's.
Mhm.
So we're going to have lots of house guests, and we're really
That's
grateful to not have to travel.
A lot of babysitting. You and Sarah should just leave.
That's what I'm planning on doing.
Teresa agrees with you. She says, haha, that was the agreement. We pay for college and they always have a bed for us in New York City.
You know what, Teresa? That's actually one of my tongue-in-cheek, but really I'd love it, retirement plans would be this. I got 5 kids, okay? Their job, all of them, I need one in like Manhattan, I need one in Orlando, I need one in like Los Angeles. I'd like one in Western Europe somewhere. How many is that, 4?
Dude, you gotta get one in the Caribbean,
Yeah.
in DR or something.
And then I need somebody, I don't know, maybe somebody down south of Texas or something, okay? Whatever, I don't care. Doesn't matter. Just
Florida.
Arizona. I already have one in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And so then what we're going to do is they all have to have a spare bedroom. We're going to sell the house, everything in it. Get just like it, and all we're going to do is they have to take us for a 5th of the year.
I love that.
And then they won't see us again.
You realize my mom is practically doing that. She has an apartment in Shaker. She never stays there, ever. But when she goes to each of our houses, she helps and she cooks for us. So we're like, can you please, we'll like fight for her to come. So, she doesn't have to, but it helps. I was going to say, as I'm drinking this eggnog for the first time in my very, very short 41 years, this is sweeter. You didn't even catch that. This is sweeter than my coffee. Is it always like that? This is sweet,
it's
y'all.
sweet. Yeah,
Goodness, this is like dessert.
Yeah.
Denise has a comment. Totally different subject. I heard the end of the story this morning that Brian told, but I didn't get to hear the beginning of it. About the man who was speaking to a room full of homosexuals and was weeping in front of them, and they gave him a standing ovation. Can you tell the story, Brian? That's a really sweet story.
Yeah, so great question. It's one of my favorite stories of all time from one of my favorite speakers. So at 5 a.m. every morning on WCRF is Key Life with Steve Brown. And Steve Brown's got this big voice.
I love his voice and his humor.
It's very funny. And he's rough on the edges.
Yeah, he is.
He loves Jesus.
Yes.
And I went to a couple different men's conferences around the country where he, for work, where he was the keynote speaker. And in one of them he told a story about his friend Tony Campolo. I didn't say the name on the air, but it's Tony Campolo, who tends to lean left on some issues, but loves Jesus. No one questions his salvation, okay? We'll just put it at that. So, and he's friends with Steve Brown. And Steve Brown is the opposite. He leans way right. So Steve reads an article in the paper about Tony Campolo going to a convention full of homosexuals. And he was invited to speak there, accepted it, and went out and spoke and got a standing ovation. So Steve picks up the phone and he goes, Tony, what are you doing to me? I'm your friend, and I say I'm your friend in public, and you're going to get a standing ovation from homosexuals?
Wow.
And Tony Campolo said, whoa, 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 whoa. You don't know what happened. In fact, they're going to be printing a retraction in that article tomorrow. Because what actually happened was I went out on stage, thanked them for inviting me. I'm giving you a paraphrase of what I remember. I thanked them for inviting me to speak and told them I wish I could affirm what they're doing in their lives and why they're all together. But he can't because the Word of God is so clear about sexuality. And then he began to weep, telling them how much he loves them. And how he has to tell them the truth, and how uncomfortable it is, and how hard it is, and he's weeping. And they, in the midst of his weeping, talking about his own sin and about his love for them, they stood up and applauded.
Wow. But the last part,
And that's where Steve Brown said that what he learned from that is that when you're talking to people who are battling some sort of sin,
yeah,
and you're talking to them about their sin, if you do it without tears, it's self-righteousness. If he would have walked in there and started yelling at them about being gay, they would have booed him off the stage. But he told them about their sin with love and with compassion and weeping about the knowledge of sin
yeah,
and the knowledge and reality of heaven and hell.
yeah.
And I've always carried that with me, that without tears, it's self-righteousness.
Oh, I love that.
And Steve Brown gets all the credit. I just showed up.
Listen, y'all. So we had a great conversation for Follow Up Friday, and yes, eggnog is amazing, and I'm getting more, and I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be my thing. That's gonna be one of the things I'm gonna hide or label in my fridge. But what we talked about today about the pronouns. Look on Facebook, and I just put the link up to Dr. Julie Slattery's conversation with a mom and her lesbian daughter, and the way they balance love and truth and relationship and all of that. And then remember, you can text the word gender. You get the link there too. Share it with people that need to hear it. Dr. Julie Slattery is one of our favorites and always does a great job. Before we go, Callie wants to know, does Sarah agree with your plan?
My retirement plan?
Yeah,
She
she
laughs.
probably wants all her babies in Ohio.
She laughs about it. I think she would enjoy that. We've talked about how someday we do want to get like a little camper when we retire and just travel all over the country.
Oh, that's cool.
We don't want to be tied down. I've seen so many people who are so attached to their house
Yeah,
that they're like stuck there.
yeah.
And we don't want to live that kind of life. But we've moved across, I've lived in Minnesota, Illinois, and now Ohio. And that act in our married life has reminded me that home really is wherever we are.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I don't think we're going to have that problem.
Yeah.
But we want to travel and such. And as much as I want all my babies to live nearby, we didn't do that for our parents.
Yeah. That's
Because
true.
God called us away.
That's true.
So we
Sarah
wanted to-
responded. She said, I am cheap. I want somewhere free to stay.
That's my girl.
You know, it's my girls, I don't know what they're doing, but my boys are fighting to buy me a house. And so they just came up with like, I guess you're going to live in a whole lot of places. So they've come up, boys always do that. They've come up with the plan, but then I always kind of remind them, somebody else has to agree with this plan, so we'll see. But I like the idea of staying with them,
Yeah. Do you think Len will be okay with that? Sarah's all into it. You saw it. She
He
she's
said,
cheap.
you want to know Len's response? There is a kid we have. Oh my gosh. He drives Len nuts. And he's super messy and distracted. It goes with his personality. It makes sense. I'm not worried. But Len, when he's like correcting, he's like, I can't wait to go to your house. I'm just going to be leaving stuff. Oh my gosh. So he's like, I'm coming. I'm going to stay. And then whenever I mention the other kids, he's like, nope, I'm going to go visit this one. Wherever he lives, that's where
I've done the same thing. I've even told my kids what I'm going to do is that when they get in my position, I'm going to pop some popcorn, snuggle up with their mom on the couch, and stir it up and watch it all happen.
Yep.
I'll be like, oh, wait, you're upset that your child is asking you out of nowhere to take them to a store? Oh, that upsets you.
Hilarious.
This is shocking.
Exactly.
Because you didn't think that a long time ago.
Exactly. And just sit there. That's right. So it's payback. They gotta be visited by Len Nevels.
Wait.
And I'm just gonna be in the kitchen cooking and stirring and minding my
Well, I
own
don't know if you're
business.
cooking, but
Whatever.
wait, your kids want more dessert and you're not going to let them have it?
That's right. Oh, they got a bedtime? Wow.
Wow, you're mean.
Thank you, Mike. He loves my post about your children. And Brian, post more of your family. Hello,
Yeah.
Brian.
She's on social media ignoring her kids, and I am.
Ignoring my kids? No, whatever, Brian. Ain't nobody
That's not
worried
true.
about you. Callie says, enjoy your Christmas. I will private message y'all with figuring out plans to come.
Yeah, please do.
We love when you guys come.
Because we've seen Mike now, we've had a couple other guys stop by, hang out with us. If you want to arrange to come and spend time with us on the other side of Facebook for overtime, we'd love that.
We love when you guys come. Have
Set
a
it
great
up.
weekend, guys.
You don't have to bring treats with you, but Mike
You
did.
don't have to. We love y'all. Make sure to check out the link and share it with friends. Share it on your page.